the vibes. Welcome to another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K23. BJ Armstrong back in the house as always, and it's been another night of action around the NBA. But
another one,
you know it. But before we dive straight into that, I do have something that I need to share with you guys. As you guys know, the plan for this year is, while we're not watching the NBA or listening to the Hoop Genius podcast, we're going to be on NBA 2K23. And season 2 just dropped of NBA 2K23. And here's a few things that you guys need to know, okay? You got to first of all get the game. If you don't have the game, hit the link in our bio to get your hands on it. But there's some key cards coming out for all my team players out there. You got the Pink Diamond Devin Booker, the free agent Nikola Jokic, Emerald Trey Jones, the Sapphire Bogdan Bogdanovic, the Ruby Michael Thompson, the Amethyst Zion Williamson. In my career, it's going to be 60 WNBA player jerseys, headlined by some of the biggest names in the game.
Biggest.
And not only can you get the Dreamville apparel in my career, that J. Cole clothing brand, we're going to introduce, or we have introduced already out, the first playlist from J. Cole himself. 20 songs handpicked by the legend. BJ, you want to hear this? You want to know what's on this playlist? You want to know what's on this playlist? Should I read it out to you? Because I think you'll vibe with some of these. Because when I seen Erykah Badu on NBA 2K23, I said, this is a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Let me hit you with this playlist. I gotta get the OG's thoughts.
Hit me, Mo.
I gotta get the OG's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Here's what's on there. We got J. Cole. He's put a couple of his own joints. We got Lights, Please. That's a classic old J. Cole song. We got Benny the Butcher, Johnny P's Caddy. I know
leave that alone,
Mo.
Mo, that's too hard for you, Mo. Benny too hard for you, Mo. Leave that alone. Leave that alone.
We got What Happened to That Boy, Baby featuring Clips. We got the Grove Street Party by Waka Flocka Flame. We got the Shoulder Lean, Young Dro featuring T.I. We got Outkast, A Day in the Life of Benjamin Andre.
The legend Andre.
We got Window Seat, Erykah Badu.
Baduism.
Dressed by Conway the Machine.
No, leave that alone, Mo. That's too hard. That's hip hop. That's that boom bap. So you don't know nothing about that, Mo. That's that boom bap.
I was just listening to Conway on 106 just now. They got a little bit of vibe, a little bit of a Marian with touch. But there's a whole lot of other tracks that you're gonna have to go in and check yourself. They got You the Man by Nas. So what I'm saying, get that in your headphones and check it out. But today we're gonna dive into the action right now. And BJ, there's only one undefeated team remaining in the NBA. Oh, well, that played tonight. There's one team in the NBA that's 4-0. Because Milwaukee undefeated, they've only played 2 games so far. So that don't really count. Right. The Portland Trailblazers. 4 games, 4 wins. Dame Lillard, healthy again, doing what he does.
No, Mo. You know what we call him now? Dame. Take the Lillard out.
Dollar.
Dame. Just Dame.
Big game tonight against the MVP and Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, 9-9-9, but Dame, on the other hand, 31-8-6. But it's not just Dame. Anthony Simons, he had 29-2, and he's been hot to start the season.
He had like 18 or something in the third. He was cooking. He was cooking, Mo. He was cooking filet mignon. And he made a request. Well done. Because he was cooking them in the third.
Okay. So, BJ, what have you seen from Portland? What's really caught your eye so far early in this season?
Let me check the time first, Mo. Mo, let me check. Mo,
oh, that's what time it is.
Mo. Nothing else to talk about. When you make shots like Dame right now is making shots. Mm-hmm. And I mean, these are tough contested shots. It's not like they're doing something exceptionally well on the offensive end. They're playing hard on the defensive end. They have a lot of athletes, these Jeremy Grants, these guys, Hart. They just have athletes they're bringing in. But Dame right now, he's playing as well in these first 3 or 4 games as I've seen him play in it throughout his career. I don't know how much further this guy can extend his range. He's shooting literally at the half court.
Oh, he's going to be shooting from the car park next game.
Yeah.
Mo, I mean, come in the arena. They're going to car hole in the ceiling.
Mo, the guy's just shooting, and he's doing it like step backs and contested shots, and it doesn't matter right now. He's got a good rhythm. They have a good flow going. Everything they're doing seems to be working well, but a lot of that is when you make shots, Mo, you're looking good. So give them credit. I think they are playing probably above what anyone anticipated, but this is a good ball club, okay? And the reason I'm saying they're a good ball club, Mo, is because, one, they have a superstar who can play in the last 4 minutes of a game and carry and make big shots. And they have athletes. I mean, Mo, they have a number of athletes that they can get out there. This kid, Anthony Simons.
You talk about making shots, 22 points in 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they're just right now have everything. Everything's clicking, especially on the offensive end. Give my man big shot, Mr. Chauncey Billups, okay? Mm-hmm. Give him credit. I mean, he has his team playing well. They're playing hard. They're off to a great start. And right now, everything is to be clicking for them. But if you want to know the bottom line, just check your watch. It's Dame. Dame is handling business right now. And I mean big business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got to show some love to the whole squad. Because, you see the way that Josh Hart's playing. I said during the summer that I wanted him on my team. The way that he just comes in and plays his role. Jeremy Grant coming in, being a number 2 or a number 3 option for this kid, Anthony Simons. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and I can't lie. I said to them, man, I don't see Anthony Simons doing what he did in the second half of last season whilst Dame's here, but they're doing it. And when you've got Simons and Lillard on the court, you'd think they'd be getting cooked, but Chauncey's got that defense starting to figure a couple of things out. It's just like similar to Jason Kidd on the Mavericks. There's something about these former point guards coaching in the NBA. Makes me question when we're going to see Mr. Armstrong on the sidelines. You know what I'm saying?
Mo.
I'm ready.
Mo. Hey, Mo.
I'll be the assistant with the clipboard.
Oh, Mo, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you one thing, though. Give these guys credit. These Jason Kidds, Chauncey Billups, my guy down there in New Orleans, Green, Willie Green, Steve Kerr, Joe Mazzulla. These guys, you're starting to see a lot of these former players really begin to implement, what I call just coaching toughness. They're demanding guys play the game a certain way. I know you watched the Boston game tonight. I love the fact that he got thrown out of the game. I respected that. And you know what? That made me want to play for him. The fact that, he went down fighting. And that's what we do in Detroit. What up, Joe? So we go embrace him. He gets a pass from the city of Detroit. When you go down fighting, we respect that.
well, the Blazers on fire. Dame Lillard named Player of the Week. The Eastern Conference Player of the Week was Jason Tatum. The Celtics were 3-0, but the Celtics looked great to start off against the Chicago Bulls, and then fair play to the Chicago Bulls. You know, with the help of 6 technical fouls from the referee, they managed to come back into the game and beat the Boston Celtics. But credit to the Bulls, because last season they had an abysmal record against the best teams in the East. This season they're already 2-0. What did you see in that game that really caught your eye?
Well, you know, I just want to give a shout out. I don't want to take him for granted, DeMar DeRozan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that guy's a pro. He's a pro's pro. He's just ultra professional. What he has, 24, 25 tonight, plays the game the right way. I mean, he just seems like when he gets to his spot in that mid-range, well, he just seems like he never misses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just very efficient, plays the game, you know, he just does everything right. You know, tonight, Mo, they played well. They played well at home. They got a nice effort from Zach LaVine, okay? And
good to see him healthy.
Yeah, it's good to see him out there. You know, I think this is his second game back or something, but it always starts with DeMar with them.
The difference maker for me was Nikola Vucevic grabbing 23 rebounds.
Not 1, not 2, but 23 rebounds.
Yeah. And as a team, they out-rebounded the Celtics 64-49. So that's when you get that many extra possessions, you're going to win the ball game. Celtics, though, the defense looks horrible. They got away with it in the first 3 games because they were playing against not good teams. You know, they were playing against the Sixers. You know, they were playing against some
Mo,
bad
stop
teams.
it. It's too early to be throwing. You're throwing already daggers already, Mo. We're 5 minutes in.
I mean, congratulations to the Sixers. They won their first game of the season tonight. They're now 1-3 against the, let me check, Indiana Pacers. But yeah, the Celtics defense needs some work. Now, there's a quick fix for this. It's called Rob Williams getting healthy again.
Oh God. When they lose, they need Rob Williams. When they win, I don't hear anything from you. Come on, Mo. Come on, Mo.
We need a little bit.
You're living a double life now. You're living a double life now.
You know, I was watching this defense these last few games. I was thinking,
Al Horford doesn't play in Orlando and we still win. Oh man, how good are we? And then they lose, and then it's like, oh, we need it. Come on.
Watching. This is why I was glad that Mazzulla got checked, because I was looking at the defense over the last few games. I was like, I kind of miss Ime Udoka a little bit here. They need to toughen up. So hopefully this game sparks a reaction from the team and they get the defense firing. But speaking of defense, speaking of being disciplined on defense, Ben Simmons once again fouled out. In this game against the Grizzlies, the Brooklyn Nets went in. Kyrie and KD had 37 each, but Desmond Bane and Ja Morant had 38 each, and the Grizzlies walked away with a win. Ja Morant hit a deep 3 to seal the win. Ben Simmons fouled out for the second time in 3 games, which was pretty fun for all the Ben Simmons fans out there. But I feel like Ja Morant heard everyone's MVP conversations before the season started, and I'm going to hold my hands up and apologize to Mr. Morant. We should have had you in those conversations, because the way he's balling right now, he's right up there in the talks. BJ, I know it's one of your favorite players.
Yeah, well, here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I want to say about the MVP. Yeah, shout out to the Grizzlies. Here's what I'm going to say about the MVP. This league is not going to give you anything. You got to take it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Ja Morant has tossed his name in the hat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All of this, they're talking about Joel. They're talking about Luka. We're talking about Giannis. Ja Morant is making himself saying, you know what? I'm here. And he's putting up impressive numbers. And
Jared Jackson Jr. next to him tonight.
There's no Jared Jackson Jr. Ja Morant is holding this thing down. I just hope this young man doesn't wear himself out. I mean, he's contorting his body in ways I don't think anyone should be doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He plays with so much effort and energy. He's so much fun. Ladies and gentlemen, if you got to choose one game, and you just want to have, if fun is at the top of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors are fun. Steph Curry is fun, the way he shoots. But this kid is just an exceptional athlete. I mean, he's dunking, He's dunking on people. He's fearless. He's fast. He's crossing over. I mean, Mo, he was making the three ball tonight.
Oh,
and when he's making the three ball, when he's making the three ball,
way down south,
he's literally, he's already unguardable. But when he's making the three ball, there's nothing you can do.
Oh yeah.
And tonight he's probably had a year's full of highlights already in the first 3 or 4 games.
Yep.
It's unreal.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what he does out there. Elsewhere around the association, we said the Sixers beat the Pacers. James Harden is officially
We're back.
Officially
We're back. The coach of the year is back, baby. The coach of the year is back, baby.
29, 11, and 9. You know, it looks like it's Harden's team now. I don't like what they're doing with Maxey. They're turning him into a spot shooter. Maxey had 8 points tonight. It's James Harden's team. Daryl Morey's got his way. It's James Harden's team, his best friend's team now. I don't know how that's going to last in the long term with Embiid and Maxey, but happy for Harden to be back. Happy for him to be healthy. You know, we've seen the Raptors and the Heat. It's interesting now having these little back-to-back kind of mini series. You know, the way that they've done the schedule to minimize on travel. You're going to see some of these series going on because the Raptors and the Heat, they
played each other the first 4 games.
Yeah. I mean, they played on Sunday and then they played against tonight. And then on Thursday, the Raptors play the Sixers and then they play them again in their next game on Saturday. So you're getting kind of these close games. And it's interesting to see some of the adjustments that get made. But shout out to Fred VanVleet and to Spicy P. And Precious Achiuwa came off the bench with 22 boards. Absolutely dominating Miami on the glass. This is a problem with going small with just Bam Adebayo at the 5. You've really got to try and get some minutes elsewhere. I mean, Dwayne Dedmon came in and did not much in the 10 minutes that he played. I think that the Heat are going to have to swing a trade at some point, or we're going to have the Omer Yurtseven breakout season, which would be fun. I'm a big fan. The Magic, speaking of fun, Bol got a nice little bit of run. I think he had a stretch of what do you have, 11 points in 11 minutes or something?
You know what?
Finished with 19.
Bol is a very, very interesting player. He's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. If he can get healthy and stay healthy, then, I like that. But the Knicks took the win in that one. Julius Randle coming into his own, rediscovering his form, 25 and 12. RJ had 20 and Brunson had 21. I think the Knicks are trying to find that formula of how they want to kind of, all right, we're going to have 3 20-plus point scorers. Then we're going to have Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein, these guys coming off the bench. The Knicks are a really fun watch this year. Cam Reddish is doing all right. Mitchell Robinson. I mean, I'm enjoying watching the Knicks this year. I didn't expect
they're playing. Yeah, well, they're playing at a much faster pace. I mean, they really are. They're getting up and down. You know, this kid Obi Toppin, he's just active, and I really like what he's doing. He's coming off the bench, and I want to give the kid Jalen Brunson. I think he has stabilized the position there at the point guard position for them, and he's really doing a very nice job of orchestrating everything. And playing well. So, they have a tough stretch coming up here. I think they play, I don't know, Indiana or someone next. But after that, they have a really tough stretch. So give them credit. They beat Orlando. They beat Detroit. And I think they have one more game against, I think it's the Pacers who they play, which they should win. And then they go out on the road and start playing against the big boys. So, but I like what I'm seeing early from the Knicks. They have depth, they have athleticism, and they seem to, especially early in the season, they're playing together. And that's key. And they're doing a really nice job.
Well, speaking of doing a really nice job, the San Antonio Spurs improved to 3-1.
Oh, how about that?
With a win against the Timberwolves, nonetheless.
Pump the brakes.
I mean, all these Utah were 3-0. They lost tonight, but they're 3-1. Jordan Clarkson made me laugh after the game. He said, "Yo, we can still get an 81-1 record." But the Spurs won. The Jazz didn't get a win. The Rockets beat them. But how about these Spurs? Devin Vassell with another 20-plus point game. Keldon Johnson's there. Jeremy Sohan doing his thing. A little 14-point outburst. You know, it's good to see him getting a little bit of scoring reps.
Right.
They're just getting out there in transition. Well, you love to see it.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting about watching the Spurs, and, you know, we've watched the Greg Popovich coach team for so many years, so many decades now. He's coached so many great players, championships, so forth and so on. The thing that's interesting about watching him and watching this team this year is they're playing much faster than a normal Greg Popovich team. They're shooting more shots earlier in the shot clock. They're getting up and down. And I think it's going to take people a while to figure out how this version of Coach Pop is playing, because he's been a traditional coach in the sense that he's always had bigs, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Gasol, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, of course. But now he's sped up the game, shooting early threes, getting out in transition, and they're you know, he's going deep into his bench. So give him credit. I think they're playing well. Certainly, I think they've shocked everyone. They've been on the short list of teams we think are trying for the big prize. We don't even want to call them by name here. The big prize, you know. Give them credit. Give him credit. Give them credit, and give the Jazz credit. I mean, they're all playing well right now.
How about these Timberwolves though? I expect them to be a really dominant regular season team. Do you think for them it's just a case of getting the pieces meshing, because they're playing a whole new style? Do you think it's just going to take a while for them to kind of fit in and gel?
Absolutely. When you start moving all-star players to different positions, in this case, we're talking about, you know, Karl Anthony Towns, Cap. You're moving him. The game is going to be different because you're inserting an all-star caliber player at the center position with Rudy Gobert. Your guards now don't have the basket to attack like they would normally do, because Karl Anthony Towns was a stretch five. Certainly now you have Rudy Gobert, who's, if he's not posting up, if he's not ducking in, he's at the dunker spot, and he's not out there shooting threes. So you have different spacing on the floor. So I think it's going to take some time for them to figure out. But, you know, these are games they probably should win regardless. But it's going to take some time to learn how to play with 2 7-footers. I mean, you got 2 all-star 7-footers, and that's going to take time. And of course, you know, yours and my one of our favorite players is Ant-Man. So, you know, he needs space to operate too. So it's going to take a little time for those guys to figure it out.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the season unfold, because it's always interesting to see you know, the start of the season, which teams start off hot and then which teams can maintain that. But I want to give a shout out to this kid, Jerry Sohan, who did a great job defensively, because Ant-Man really struggled tonight. I think Sohan did a great job defensively, especially on Anthony Edwards. And then, like you said, with Greg Popovich, we're seeing them get out and run, seeing them play in transition a little bit. So I want to shout out this kid representing, doing his thing. Should we have a look at tonight's games, BJ? And have a little talk about who you think is going to win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We tip things off with your Detroit Pistons versus the Washington Wizards in Washington. How you like that one?
Well, you know, I'm all in on the Pistons. However, I think the Wizards, you know, when you have Porzingis and Bill and Kuzma and these guys making shots and doing what they're doing, they're going to be tough to beat. I think they're going to be tough to beat at home. You know, I want to pick my Pistons, but I got to go with the Wizards in this one.
We got the Mavericks heading to New Orleans to face the Pelicans. The Pelicans, who are 2-1, they lost against the Jazz the other night after a Kelly Olynyk game winner, nonetheless. Right. It's going to be a great game. I don't know if Zion's going to play. It's a game time decision. He took a nasty fall in the last one.
Yeah.
But who you got for that one? Because I think that could be a potential playoff matchup.
I got Dallas.
Why? The Luka factor?
It could be. Well, I have them because I think Zion is probably going to miss. And And Ingram, I think he's in, he's in protocol. I think he's in protocol with the what
concussion. He's got a concussion. Protocol, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go with Dallas in this one.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. The Clippers and the Thunder. The Thunder are going all in on the tank though. 0-3 so far.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Clips. I was surprised that Phoenix came in and beat them handedly. They handled them last night. So I'm looking for the Clippers to have a bounce back.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Suns face the Golden State Warriors.
Ooh.
Big matchup. Matchup there.
It's a good. I think we're going to learn something about the Suns, And if you saw them in the preseason, you were like, ooh, I don't know about this team. And suddenly they've been very competitive in their first 3 games. Mm-hmm. Very, very competitive. Outstanding comeback win against the Mavericks. Then they go in and beat the Clippers, who everyone's saying is probably the deepest team in the NBA, on the road for their home opening night. And then they lose a very competitive game, which they very well could have easily have won against the Portland Trailblazers. So give those guys credit. They've kind of shuffled some things around there. New starting lineup. Guys are in and out. Jay Crowder is still missing. However, they've been very competitive. So I'm going to go with the Warriors. I think this is going to be a good test for the Warriors. The Warriors haven't played defense. Uncharacteristic in the first 2 or 3 games for them to give up so many points on the defensive end. They're not defending well. Mm-hmm. However, I think this will be a good game for those guys to get out on the road, kind of get into their road routine and start defending a little bit. They've been a little shaky on that end, and I'm sure that's a concern for Steve Kerr and company.
Yeah, and also the Stars, against the Kings, they did a fantastic job running up the scorecard, right? But the Stars... Right,
they had like 89, 90 points at half.
Yeah, I think they finished with a crazy number, like 130 or something. But the Stars have been doing a great job. The bench has struggled a little bit. Like, they've looked good when they play alongside some of the Stars, but when it's just a bench unit in there with no Steph, no Draymond, they have struggled a little bit. Even though they've still been winning, it's going to be interesting to see how that evolves. Because ideally, over the course of an 82-game season, you want these bench guys to step up to get Draymond and Steph and these guys some rest.
Well, Jordan Poole, I have confidence in Jordan Poole and Wiseman and Moody and those guys. They'll get their rhythm. And, it's been a tough go for the Warriors. As you know, they've been in the media a lot for other things other than their basketball prowess at this point. But give them a little time. I still like what I see. But defensively, they're just not defending well right now, and I can't figure out why. But it's early in the season.
I mean, it is early doors. Same as the Celtics. We're gonna chalk it up to early doors. But we're gonna be back tomorrow. BJ, with another one, as we always do. In the meantime, you guys make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a review, and all that good stuff. And let us know. What we haven't done in a while, BJ, is get some of the people's takes. So here's this. If you're in the Discord server, go to the channel that says, let us hear from you, and put your questions and your hot takes in there. And later this week, we'll answer them. And if you're saying, Mo, I'm not in the Discord server, how do I get my questions to you? It's quite simple. Download Discord and join the server. Get the questions in there. We'll answer them for you. We want to hear from you and your hot takes. And we'll be back with more tomorrow. BJ, get some rest. I know it's late over there for you. I know you're waiting to go get your robe on. Get some sleep.
Mo. We don't do that here, Mo. Money don't sleep.
I had a nice 1 hour sleep today. But we here getting this podcast out ready for you guys. So until next time, the vibes. Get buckets.